Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about voice and more specifically what is a good voice and how can you get it. To help us do that, we have a special guest. Her name is Linor Oren and she has a Bachelor of Arts in Voice and Opera from the Jerusalem Academy of Music and Dance. In 2010 she moved to Berlin. There she continued studying and she also started performing together with the opera and music theater, touring across Europe as an opera singer. Besides that, she also started helping other people in improving their voice. So she became a voice consultant. She recently moved to Amsterdam and now she's exclusively focusing on voice coaching. So helping people like me, you, get a better voice. Of course, that can be done for singing better, so you can improve your voice to sing better. But what I'm interested in is in how you can improve your voice to improve your public speaking, to improve your presentation skills, and to improve your pitching. So for that, I had a conversation with her. It's about 40 minutes. We talk about what a good voice is, how you can improve your voice, what kind of what kind of tricks and tips you can apply. And I think it's a very interesting conversation. I didn't knew a lot about voice until now, and I think I know a lot more now. I hope you guys enjoy it. It is my first video out there, so I know I can improve a lot, but I'll keep on doing. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you guys enjoy it, and talk to you soon. Cheers. So, hello.
Hi.
Good. This is hi everyone. This is the first podcast slash video cast interview I'm doing. So hopefully it turns out okay. We're a bit nervous, both of us, I think.
Yeah, there will be a great mystery if this sees the light of day.
Yeah. So I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. So I'm here with my name is Andy, first of all, for the people that don't know me, and I'm here with Linor.
Yes.
Hi, Linor.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about voice today. And I prepared a bit of introduction of regarding why I'm curious to know more about voice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the main reason is that I think that my voice sucks.
I beg to differ, but go on.
Yeah, so I feel that I don't have a good voice, but I do like to be in public. I do like to speak a lot, and to be on a stage and to speak in front of people. But I don't think I have a proper voice for it. So I can't put my finger on why I think that. But given that you know so much about like voice and also how to be on a stage and how to get people's attention and to just really perform,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to know how do you see this thing, so how it works in from your perspective, and maybe just give me some tips on how to do it. And also, just to go back to why I'm doing this for a Startup Mates podcast, is because a lot of people would find themselves in the position to present something, to pitch to a VC or to be in front of an audience on a stage. You have this Startup Fest and Startup Europe and all these conferences where you have to go and just pitch your idea and in front of a lot of people. So if you don't have a good voice, then I think it's also pretty bad for you as an entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot to learn, and I actually don't know where should we start. Like, what's the first question should we do?
I think you've already asked the question, but what I want to first do as a teacher, when you tell me something like, "I think my voice sucks," or "I think I don't have a good voice," is to jump to your defense and say that you actually do have a good voice. Now, why do I say that? From my perspective, a healthy voice is when the vocal cords are closing properly, and when you can hear some resonances in the voice. And I'm looking for, and I'm trained to look for the chest resonance and the head resonance.
Mm-hmm.
And in your case, I hear quite a bit of chest resonance.
Chest resonance. Okay.
Yeah, and if you lay your hand on your chest when you speak, then you can really feel the buzz
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
It's like a deep voice.
Yeah, and about the closed vocal cords, when, for example, when you have a lot of air in your voice, when you have a raspy voice, like, then there is something wrong. But that's not the case with you.
Okay.
So I think you're off to a good start.
Okay, good.
Of course, you can always maximize your volume and your resonances, and there is a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I think people should first come to somebody like me before they put that really, really harsh verdict on themselves that I can't sing or I can't talk or my voice sucks, because it's not, it shouldn't necessarily be the case. Yeah.
So then how do you get so if I have a good foundation, right? Mm-hmm. How do you get a better voice?
Yeah, well, you learn, first of all, how the voice works.
Okay.
And I've already explained that you need to use the resonances in your body, the chest and the head. And the head voice is where the sinuses are, right? The nasal cavities. So you need to learn how to utilize those resonances. And then you can feel more comfortable when you speak. You can make less effort. And basically just make your normal speaking sound and get more out of it. This is what I work on.
Okay. And can you give me an example? Because I understand the words, but I'm very like, okay, so like resonance, and so I put my hand on my chest, so I feel that. But so how does it work for me? So like practically, like what should I do?
What should you do when you step on the stage? Yeah. Or when you're speaking, right? Yeah. You have to speak sometime to people and show confidence. Well, as you put your hand on your chest, you can at the same time put a thumb and 2 fingers on your cheekbones.
Okay.
Yeah, and those would be the indicator for your head resonance.
Like here. Okay.
Yeah, just where the bones are. You can do a little bit under it if you want. Yeah. And then when you speak, just try to feel the buzzes there.
To feel the buzzes, okay.
Yeah, it's already better.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you'll hear it later. That it's a little more buzzy.
A little more buzzy.
Okay. Yeah, you have a deep voice, and that's actually really nice. And it doesn't matter if you're, if you really have deep tones or like a lower register or a higher register. If the voice is deep, meaning that it resonates in the chest, then it will be pleasant for us to hear. Okay. And if you combine it with the head, then you will get more round tones, more relaxing tones, and basically focus on that.
So, for example, if I'm on the stage, right? Do I speak like this with my hand on my face, or like how does it work? Like this is the first step, right?
You could. It might be a nice gimmick, but I bet that people would want to see your face.
Yeah. So like
you need to start getting to know your instrument. Okay. Your instrument is your body. So
my body. Okay.
Yeah, your body is the instrument that makes your voice.
Okay, the body is the instrument. Okay, got it.
So when you are preparing for a presentation, that's when you should start getting to know your body. Not on stage. Also on stage you'll have the adrenaline that kicks in, right? You won't necessarily have time to focus on all those tricks that you learned in voice lessons. Yeah. So you want to do that beforehand. You want to start getting to know your system and how it works, and getting some new habits in place if needed. Yeah. That's not mine, is it?
Oh shit. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's yours.
But I put it on silent. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Happens.
What? It is on silence, actually. Well, I'm just going to close it then.
No worries.
I apologize.
Happens. We're the digital age, so we have phones and stuff.
Do not trust your phone if it says that it's on silent. It is lying to you.
Yeah, it will buzz on the table.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that I can also give you some things to think about
Yes, please.
when it comes to preparing yourself for a lecture, a presentation, or a performance.
Yes.
But you need to start doing that beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because new habits cannot be achieved
Yeah.
with the push of a button.
Yeah.
New habits are muscle memory, so you need to start getting used to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, a lot of people complain that their voice, that their throat gets dry,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they're in a performance.
Yeah.
And then you can try, like a performance or a lecture, you can try drink water as you go. That's not going to do any good, because what happens is that your throat, your larynx, and your
Mhm.
vocal cords are not hydrated. So what you want to do is actually drink water before, and at
Okay.
least 3 hours before your
Okay.
performance. Drink fair amount of water.
What's a fair amount of water? 2 liters?
No. I would say at least 2 glasses of water.
2 glasses of water. 3
But
hours.
of course, it's individual.
Yeah.
You can drink more if you want. I don't think you should drown yourself.
Yeah.
But you should be hydrated, okay? Don't,
So
from the stress, you can also sort of like forget that part.
yeah.
But that's very important to take care of beforehand.
So the first tip would be drink at least around 2 glasses of water before.
A few
you
hours
would-
before.
Yeah, a few hours before, because that's how you hydrate your vocal cords,
Yeah.
and that's how you get a better sound. Or
Well, yeah. If your vocal cords are dry,
Yeah.
they'll find it very difficult to close.
Okay.
And the healthy function of the vocal cords is when they come together properly and they buzz, a little bit like when you stretch an opening of a balloon
Mm-hmm.
and let the air go a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you get this buzz.
Yeah.
That's sort of what the vocal cords are doing. They're
Okay.
coming together and they're like flipping against each other really, really fast.
Yeah.
And when they're tired or when they dry it up, it's more difficult for them to do so.
Okay.
And then you get this tired, airy, and not very confident and present voice.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Interesting.
So that would be the first thing
So-
to take care of.
Yeah. So does coffee count?
It could count. Yeah, many singers say that, it's not good to drink coffee because it's dehydrating. Well, actually, the going to the bathroom afterwards is what dehydrates you,
Okay.
because the coffee will make you urinate more.
Yeah.
And so you basically have to just make sure you have enough fluid that remains in your body as well.
Okay.
So coffee is not bad, but take into account that it's going to make you
Yeah.
go to the bathroom and then you lose some of that.
Okay. Cool.
But I don't believe that it's bad to drink coffee. However, if you're struggling with adrenaline and nerves and stress in your
Yeah.
performance, then you might want to consider not drinking so much coffee, or maybe not drinking even at all
Yeah.
on a day of a performance,
Okay.
because that's going to make it a little worse.
Yeah. Okay. So no coffee. Water, yes. Coffee, not so much. I
Not
wouldn't
so much, but if you really have to,
do. Yeah.
go for it. Just drink some water as well.
Cool. So first step, be hydrated.
Yes.
So that's like more of a technical kind of the foundation of
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
right?
on the day of the performance, and in general, if you use your voice in everyday life and your presentation of yourself and your business depends on it, I would recommend getting that,
Okay.
like making that a habit.
Yeah. Cool. What else? What else can we do to speak better, to have a better voice on on a stage? We keep saying stage, but it could be also a presentation. in
Yeah,
front
it
of
could
a few
be
people, yeah.
it could be anything. What I would say is again make habits that are more healthy for your voice. So when you come to a stressful situation, it will be easier for you
Mm-hmm.
to, to maintain your body and maintain your voice
Yeah.
in a more, basically in a more appealing way.
Okay.
So what you could do, what you I think should do, is start minding your breath. When people take deep breaths and when they're nervous, they think they're taking deep breath when in fact they're lifting their chest and shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a deep breath. Exactly.
It's
It's not a deep breath. It's a stressful breath.
It's a stressful breath. Okay.
Yeah, because you're basically tensing up your shoulder muscles and your chest muscles and subsequently your neck muscles.
Okay.
And if your neck muscles, if your throat muscles are tense, you're putting pressure on your trachea,
Mm-hmm.
and your air pipe, right?
Yeah.
And your voice box, your larynx.
Okay.
So that's not what you want. You want to take a breath without moving your shoulders and chest.
Okay.
And basically, it feels like, you can even put your hands up to your, like where your diaphragm is.
Yeah.
And your diaphragm, when you breathe, it goes down. But in your imagination, you think that the air goes actually lower than that because it makes your tummy, it makes your belly go out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So breathing.
So that's a good way to breathe.
in the belly, like
You
or
don't
like,
breathe in the belly,
Yeah,
you
of
breathe
course.
in the lungs, but it makes the belly go out, and that's
Yeah.
a good thing. If it makes the
Okay.
shoulders come up and the chest come up, that's not a good thing.
Okay.
So try to start make a habit of that. And I would use a mirror.
Okay.
If you're not used to working on the stuff, you may not be aware how you breathe.
Yeah.
You may not be aware that you're lifting your chest and shoulders. So you want to make sure and look at yourself when you breathe.
Okay.
It does feel, I have to say, like you're breathing less.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically is just you breathing faster and more effectively. You're not breathing less. You have to take that into account, that it will feel a bit weird. That it maybe like it's not, that couldn't be enough, but it's enough.
Okay. And so this is something you have to do also before, like a habit, but also on the stage, like focus on your breath, or like this should come natural because you're doing it so.
I think it should become natural if you practice that,
Yeah.
if you practice so long enough. And don't be mad at yourself if you're in a situation when you're a bit more stressed or a bit more excited and you behave differently than in real life. Of course you would. But it will help. And with time, I think you would be able to even like notice while you're presenting that you're not, you're not causing yourself any tension in the upper body.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely do that at home.
Okay. So really focus on your breath, and that helps because how is it connected with your vocal, or like why would that help?
Well, as I said, when you breathe into the chest and shoulders, you're creating tension in the upper body, which will put pressure on your vocal cords and on your larynx and on your air pipe, your trachea.
Yeah.
And that's something you want to avoid. You want basically you want the voice to do what it wants to do, which is close the vocal cords and let the air pass through the vocal cords, and then use your resonances, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And it should be very simple, but we as human beings who, have stress throughout our lives, and we're not kids who play in the trees anymore.
Yeah.
We have, I call it sticks in the wheels. Things that basically prevent the air from flowing, prevent the wheel from turning. So we need to like get all of those sticks out, all of the obstacles that make our natural voice sound the way it should.
Interesting.
And that's one of those things. That's one of those sticks. This tension.
I really find it like the way you explained it, because because you're breathing in your upper body, and that becomes like that creates the tension into your vocal cords. I never thought about it. I never thought that there's a link between how you breathe on that way. I thought, maybe stress or maybe like something mental, but it's very physical. It's very kind of mechanical.
It's very physical
in a way. It's just this one affects this one, and that's it. And if you can breathe it in your lower body, then it releases the tension in the upper body, and then it works. So
it's very down to earth.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. That's what I like about it. But actually, mentally or physically is not really so. Those are not such different concepts, because both come from the brain. That's how I see it. I'm not a very spiritual person, but I do realize that emotions and physicality are very much connected, because they originate in the both in the brain. And the brain is the organ giving the commands to your body and tells it what to do. So you want to both understand what you're doing, and also maybe work your imagination or find like a nice trick or image that will make you feel good inside, and then that could also work. I work in both channels.
Yeah, cool. So it's interesting, because what you're saying, I'm also thinking about what you're saying, and it's so it's a lot of, so your voice, right? If you have to present something, your voice also depends on. It's like with anything in life, you don't have to do it like on the spot. There, it's like, I'm just switching this thing on, and I have a better voice. No,
good
it's
luck
kind
with
of
that.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an ongoing process. It's a thing you have to think about it beforehand. So at least 3 hours to drink some water, and then a bit more to kind of focus on your breathing and focusing on being relaxed and having that.
Basically getting a new habit of how to breathe, if applicable in your case, and it's applicable in many cases that people
and
breathe into the wrong place.
So take me as an example. What can I do? Anything? So when I thought about voice coaching, when I thought about how to speak better, I thought, well, you're gonna tell me how to pronounce my words, or like how to just do something in my neck, or like I don't know, is that aspect as well, or is it is there anything like some tricks you can do like that?
I mean there are millions of tricks. I think at least for a first introduction, you need to simplify things so you understand the system, right? And I think that's the most important thing, first of all, to understand the system, and not, when you go to voice teachers, sometimes they will tell you, think of clouds or birds, or think of something that you basically don't know what they're talking about. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to give you the foundation, but of course you have tricks from every angle, and for every aspect of the singing, you have a thousand things that you can think of. And it's nice to have all those tools, but what I would say, in general, you need to get to know the instrument. And one way to do that, I cannot actually recommend this enough, is to go to some kind of a body awareness method. If it's yoga or Alexander technique, which has taught me a lot, or less Pilates, but also Pilates, something that some kind of methods that teach you about where things in your body should be. So you were saying something about the neck. Many people put their heads forward, and that puts pressure on the neck. Some people put their head too much, backwards, or like maybe try to look up too much. Maybe some people tense their jaw. There are a lot of things that can put pressure on the throat, and that's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, if you're putting pressure on your respiratory system, your lungs and your throat, so you should maybe look into that
Okay.
and just make sure that you're not, that your posture is not harming those parts of your body.
Yeah. Interesting. So that's another thing I've never thought about, like the way you hold your neck and how you.
That's actually something that could also be, I
Yeah.
think, 85% solved by looking in the mirror.
Okay. Just like.
Looking in the mirror, you will notice if you're doing something weird with your body. When you breathe, when you speak. Of course, it's a little more difficult to look at yourself from the side, but you can try to do that as well. And I would recommend starting to get to know Alexander technique.
Alexander technique. Okay.
Yeah.
Where can people go in and check that out? Is it just Google it, or is it like a website, or do you recommend any?
I mean, there are practitioners all over the world. It's a very popular method, and it's a very educational method. So your instructor will actually tell you what kind of things you need to keep in mind when it comes to posture. That's why I like it so much. That's why it had so long-lasting effects for me. And yoga is more the practice, like everyday practice of it. And for me, Alexander is more the understanding.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find practitioners all over. You can read the book. You can see tutorials. But eventually, I think you're going to have to at least a few times see a practitioner. Because you'll need.
Now I'm adjusting my posture. Now you made me think of how I speak and how I am.
You're
sitting,
just thinking about it, and it's already better.
Wait. Is it pressure on my neck? Is it pressure in here?
But do you want me to show you? What you're doing. Right and wrong.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna have to stand up for that.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's see.
Okay, we can try. Let's try. So.
So I'll just sit here, and then you can.
I'm not an Alexander practitioner.
Yeah. So I'm just.
You just normal right now.
Yeah.
What I would like you to do first of all is do everything through relaxing the shoulders.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to sit up straight, the first thing you're gonna do is like work something with your shoulders. I don't want you to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Chest up.
Okay.
There you go. And shoulders down.
Okay. Chest up, shoulders down.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, I would take your head a little bit that way.
I am being stretched
You
here
are so tall.
beyond imagination. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, what I did is that I saw what you were doing with your head. You were putting your head too forward.
Yeah.
And I slightly, with not much pressure, hinted that you should not do that anymore.
Okay.
There you go. Try not to do anything too actively, because then you will just work out your muscles, and that's not what we want. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a good position for my voice.
This is not bad at all.
Okay. So sitting straight,
get
kind of
in place. Shoulders
kind of down,
nicely
relaxed,
rolled
backwards
in
a bit.
The back, backwards. But again, I don't recommend actively doing any of this. That's why I like Alexander, because it's about noticing and paying attention.
Yeah.
And then the brain can give the sufficient command.
Yeah.
Right? So don't try to do it too actively.
Okay.
Then you'll just stand
So look
up.
again, I'm back at my.
You're back there, but you already
position.
notice it.
Yeah.
Right?
Now I notice.
So when you're like this,
just
try to remember what it was like.
Okay.
Just try to remember what it was like, and don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just try to let your brain do it for you.
Okay. So now I think again about the implications of my position, as you said, right? It's all about the chords, right? So I'm imagining.
It's all about the air system as well.
It's all about the here in the neck, like how it sits and how much pressure it's on the vocal cords, how the air flows, right?
Yes.
So I'm kind of imagining, okay, if I sit a bit like this, okay, cool. So it's also in the posture, like how you how your body kind of is yeah, made, or how is aligned, so
Mm-hmm.
you get
Exactly.
the best kind of flow of air through
Yeah.
your
I
interesting.
also wrote an article on my website about how to close the vocal cords and
Mm-hmm.
how to avoid sore throat.
Okay.
So there are some things that you can do to learn how to do that.
I'm much more aware now about
For
my posture.
yeah, I can see. I can
Yeah.
see.
Oh, that's cool. I'm curious if I'm gonna get tired of this. It's
You will get tired if you work it.
yeah,
As I said, like
yeah.
if you're actively doing it, it will not be as natural.
I
But
can't stop.
it's just yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's a habit thing and it's an awareness thing. So I would definitely
yeah,
go the long run and
yeah,
not just
yeah,
think about what I do in the performance.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so um, let me. I like to recap things because I like to keep
Yeah.
it in order. So first of all, water before uh, the performance or before your presentation.
Mm-hmm. A
This
few
few
hours
hours, yeah,
before.
because that's gonna keep your your vocal cords nice and what do you call it?
Hydrated.
Hydrated. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Then the second thing was, what was the second
The
thing? I
second
forget.
thing was minding your breath and
Minding your
that you're
breath.
not creating tension in the
Yes.
chest and shoulders.
Perfect. Yes. So mind how you breathe, and that's also something you should do, like way before that. It's not something you can just switch on and off on the event, but something you have to practice and kind of be aware
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Yes.
And the third thing which would help is it's the, again, something you have to practice, is the position you're in. It's the yeah, how you keep your shoulders, how you keep your head, and how you keep your neck. So you
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of like you optimize the way the air goes in and out through your
Exactly.
vocal cords, and you get like the best sound.
Not to mention that it's very attractive.
Oh yeah.
When somebody has a good posture, if you
Hmm.
look at all the Hollywood
Hmm.
actors and actresses, all the models,
Yeah.
all the attractive singers, they have a great posture.
You know what? I'm gonna change my
It's
microphone.
it's very appealing to look at.
I'm gonna change my microphone to be a bit up,
Yeah, go
'cause
for it.
I think it's
But now, yeah, because now you're
yeah.
taller.
Yeah, now I'm a bit taller, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
also
Mm-hmm.
because I realize, it's also in the system you design. So I put my microphone down because that's how I thought, I'm gonna just sit down. But if you design the microphone, or like it's also how. So I think in systems, right? So
Yeah.
if you create a space that kind of forces you to do something, then it's gonna be easier for you to do that.
That's
So
actually a great idea.
so in this case, if I put my microphone down, I kind of bend it down because that's
Mm-hmm.
I had to be close to the mic.
Yeah.
But now keeping it up, it also it's a silent reminder that I have to stand in a different way.
Yeah. Do you know though this there is this video, animated video showing how you're supposed to sit by the computer,
No.
and yeah, it's actually I don't remember where I saw it the first time, but then I also saw it on the Body Worlds exhibition. When
Okay,
they
yeah.
show all the bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was this video explaining about posture and something very relevant to all of us when we sit by the computer. We tend to hunch down to the computer because it's not in the right position for us. So basically, they explain that your like arms should be in a 90-degree angle,
Mm-hmm.
and that you should, of course, be sitting up straight. So the screen should be just right in front of your head,
Yeah,
and not, and not below.
yeah, yeah.
So you don't have to look down, because even if you have to look down with your eyes, eventually you look down with your head and neck, and you'll get all this tension, and it's really bad for your back. So yeah, so basically put the screen in front of your eyes, and if it's a laptop, then you're gonna have to get an additional keyboard. So the keyboard is put nicely on the table, and you can just your feet should reach the floor and have a 90-degree angle with in your legs, and Yeah, it's going to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. Designing good systems,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think we should kind of keep it also short, but I have one more question which might be very long,
All right.
which is we talked about voice, but I said at the beginning that I think I have a bad voice or not a good voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realized I don't know what a good voice is. So maybe maybe we can talk a bit about that, and then yeah, we can.
What is a good voice?
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, a good voice is, as I said, when it functions well. So when the vocal cords are properly closing, when you don't have too much air in your voice,
Mm-hmm.
and when you don't have pressure on your throat,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you will get the nice flow and the nice resonances that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and that everybody wants to hear, because it's not very pleasant to hear an airy voice, or some people like that, but not, not in a long term, and not when they're looking for charisma, and a performer. So for me, a good voice would be a voice that is as least airy as possible, and that has nice, relaxed resonances, like the nice vibrations.
Can you give us a few
basically.
examples of people that you think they have a good voice?
Speakers or singers?
Speakers. I'm most interested in speakers.
Well, actually, I was thinking of one just recently. That would be Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, so he has a good voice, you think?
He has a very good voice.
Okay.
Yeah. He's also lucky to have a nice baritone, deep voice. And not everybody has that, but
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't really matter, because you can tell that his throat is relaxed.
Yeah.
For me, it's very clear, because I'm trained to see that and hear that. It's very fluent, and it's very relaxed, and it's very resonated. And if you look at him, you can see that the whole area of his mouth, which we didn't even get to, is relaxed.
Yeah.
Even if he's not speaking, he always has a bit of a space. Like his mouth is never going, like he's never shutting.
Okay.
Actually. So there is basically nothing in him that stands in the way of his voice.
That's another interesting concept.
So try to notice that when you look at him speak. His jaw is very loose, and it just drops down with every single syllable he says. And that would be another thing that I would make a habit of.
Which is?
Relaxing the jaw.
Relaxing the jaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see there's a lot of people that don't have the jaw relaxed?
The most.
Do I have do I have a relaxed jaw or not?
It could be, I think, a little more relaxed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never
It's not
thought
so
about-
bad. It's not so bad.
Okay, never thought about my things I've
No.
never thought in my life. My jaw, if it's
Yeah.
relaxed or not. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
it's already like right now when you said that sentence, your jaw dropped a little bit more, and it released more of your voice. I think you will hear that in retrospect.
Interesting.
So it's really
Wow.
it's really helpful. The jaw tension is another thing that puts
Yeah.
pressure on our on our upper body, and therefore on our vocal cords and like voice box. So
The jaw.
yeah, the jaw.
Oh.
It's a big deal. So
Okay.
yeah, and also if I'm not mistaken, when he breathes, he's also like not really doing that
So
too
it's,
much.
It's
very relaxed. It's all very like,
Yeah.
like down to earth.
Okay.
People like that, and the voice likes that as well.
Interesting. So, part of like having a good voice or like speaking in a nice way is being relaxed.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
being like, because tension is not good for for you in general,
Yeah.
but also for your voice. Another thing I never thought about.
Yeah. But just
From that perspective.
let me go to the most extreme example.
Yeah.
Opera singers.
Yeah.
If you go to a very, very good opera singer,
Yeah.
all the good ones, you don't see their shoulders come up when they breathe. You don't see them basically doing much at all except for widely opening their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have like an extra magnifier, which is putting the lips forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like it's like the extended version of relaxing the lips, because if you work too much with the lips,
Mm-hmm.
that also, creates jaw tension and therefore neck tension. So, yeah, just for the experiment, just try to watch some opera singers and see what they do, because basically what they do is breathe
Yeah.
properly. You don't see them, do it with the shoulders, and then they just open their mouths.
Okay.
It's
Well, it's so much to learn. It's
quite
so
magical.
It's so many things. It's just like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So it's the same with this topic for me. Like the more you
Yeah.
talk about, the more you touch upon things, and I go, oh, okay, I never knew that was happening, or so.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
my mic is up.
the voice is a magnificent, complicated
Yeah.
phenomena, because it's it's acoustics and it's biology, and it's just, of course there will be a lot to learn about it. Your body is just
Yeah.
it's not for nothing that it takes 7 years to study medicine to get to know how the body really works. So if you just want to focus on the voice, you'll have an easier time, but still you're gonna have to look into it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we're about 40 minutes in. I think let's leave it at that.
All right.
Thank you very much for explaining so many things to me and to everybody who's going to watch this.
It was a pleasure.
Is there just like for a few final words? First of all, where could people find you if they want to know more about you? You have a blog, I've heard.
Yeah, I have a website with a blog.
Okay.
It's called singwell.eu.
Okay.
Like Europe.
Yeah.
So singwell.eu, you can find information about me there, about and also the articles that I write.
Okay. So
about voice.
So you post about voice there, so people.
Yeah,
can
I give voice tips. I explain how the voice works, and
you have also videos there where you can.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so if I'm definitely gonna check the website for videos, because I'm very
You can
curious.
also check up my my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Linor Oren.
Yeah.
And if you go to the website, my name is also going to be on the website. So, and my video. So, yeah, you can check it through YouTube or through the website.
Okay, cool.
And if you want regular tips, then you can sign up, and then you get my new articles to your mailbox.
Okay, so you also do that. You send regular free tips to people.
Yes.
Awesome.
Brilliant. I don't bug them though. I don't send them like every 2 days.
Okay.
Like more like every few weeks.